Good evening, everyone. It's just so nice to be back on your monitors or TV sets around the world. It's been such a long time since the last program, but I gotta tell you that school has finally caught up with me. Despite a capstone course and many other hazards I had to encounter along the way, I've managed to finally kind of get a lot of things done that, quite frankly, I wasn't even ready to finish, at least what I felt like I was ready to finish. Now, for starters, even though my MySpace or Facebook doesn't reflect the changes that have taken place in my life over the past few days, and yes, there's been a lot of changes that have been going on lately, with people I've had to deal with, people, friends, everything else, and I gotta tell you that for the first time in a long time, I have fallen in love again. It's like, I believe it's nearly 7 years since the last time I was actually in love with someone. This time I fell, for a nice young Canadian woman who lives near Toronto, and for the first, I keep being all redundant and everything, but I'm very happy for right now what I've been through. Her name is Stephanie, and it turns out that we have both a lot of things in common that no one ever realized up to this point in time. With that said, I think it's only fair and right to tell each and every one of you around the world today the story of how Stephanie and I got to know each other. It was February 7, 2007, and we had just finished playing another session of Chat Room Showcase Show Off, which is a Price is Right themed showcase bidding game on goldenroad.net that pits players against each other to see who can come closer to the actual prices of the two showcases presented without going over, just like if you were a contestant on the actual show. Now, that day, Stephanie, who was better known on the site as FieldsFan336, was the only player to overbid, giving her a score of 0 for the day. I posted a consolation post to Stephanie on the forums that day, and she thanked me for that. Then she decided, I don't know how the heck this happened, but she wanted to ask me if I wanted to team up with sorts as far as a price strategy, how to tell if something's cheap and how to tell if something's expensive. And what do you know? I agreed to team up with her. Stephanie and I formed Team Grr, which, believe it or not, Grr is kind of a greeting that is my trademark. It's a greeting I usually give every day when I enter the chat room on Golden Road. Thanks to another gentleman named Robert Searcy, who apparently loved making CSS fun by analogizing. He loved the game of CSS almost. He analogized it to a NASCAR race. Every time you go over, you crash. And ever since that day, Steph and I became good friends. Now, over time, we went through some changes, as far as school, as far as work, and as far as the show is concerned. But we were still friends even after Bob Barker retired from The Price is Right in 2007. That set the stage for a more fresher look at the show, in my opinion, with Drew Carey taking over as host. Now, Stephanie and I have been fans of The Price is Right for quite a long time now, and she is the #1 fan of current announcer Rich Fields, thus Fields fan. We begin to chat with each other a lot of the many things that we have in common, and there's a lot of things we have in common. First, for starters, we both have Asperger's syndrome, which is essentially the high-end form of autism that limits, social interactivity, yet at the same time allows those with the condition to kind of pick a specific interest or a choice in something that they truly love to do. I mean, suffice it to say, what we're not in school or work, the one thing that keeps the two of us together is our special interests. The Price is Right. Yes, The Price is Right. It's a cultural phenomenon. It's an icon that will be cherished for many years to come, even after the show will be finally canceled. And it's our only escape from the stresses of the normal days that we have in our lives. Now, Stephanie and I have more things in common besides The Price is Right. We both love sports, anime, thrill-seeking, music, all that good jazz. Now, in another chat-based mock Price is Right show, it's not on Golden Road, it was on a different site, because we have a lot of people that are fans of the show that actually do mock shows. And after about a year and a half or so, after nearly 2 years, I finally had the courage to tell Stephanie that I truly loved her. And she told me that she loved me too. As before that night, we have known each other for 2 years, since 2007, but for the first time in a long time, I have finally found or managed to find the peace and strength within myself. I'm finally at peace, knowing I finally know that I can actually love someone and learn to love, even how far away we are. She's in Toronto, I'm in Corpus. I wish I could be able to meet her in person and tell her that I love her face to face, despite the pressures that she and I go through every day. I want you to bear with me, because this is going to be really humbling for me to say. I kind of want to close this out with something that my sister told me one night when she called. Don't ever let anyone tell you that you cannot amount to anything in your life, because in God's eyes you can. It doesn't matter whether you're blind in one eye or you can see fully. It doesn't matter whether you have Asperger's syndrome or some other thing, or wherever you're perfectly normal. And it surely doesn't matter how far away you are from the one you truly love. The one thing that truly matters is that the Lord Jesus Christ is the only one out there who decides what the future will hold for all of us. All you have to do is believe. That's a piece from our island tonight. I'm John Gilman. Good night, and God bless.